Hello and welcome to another gear review with me, Andrzej. Today we are looking at the Hubcap John Bleeding Heart Fuzz pedal. So, the Hubcap John Bleeding Heart Fuzz pedal. As you may have noticed from some of my previous reviews, I do get a lot of stuff from people on Instagram who I meet because they make really interesting stuff. Now, Hubcap John is one of those sorts of people. More commonly, his pedals have been seen in tobacco tins, and he also makes these sort of amazing guitars out of, well, hubcaps, hence Hubcap John. And he wanted to try making a line of pedals that are a little bit more traditional looking, hence the enclosure. So this is a really versatile fuzz pedal. You get three main controls: volume, gain and bias, which I'll come to in a second, and then a selection of different settings for various types of fuzz. Now, volume and gain are fairly self-explanatory. Bias is a bit different. What bias does is it changes the voltage across the circuit, which essentially emulates a dying battery. So rather than it being a nice clear fuzz, you end up with kind of a spluttery fuzz. If you go down voltage, if you go up the voltage, you get some weird and wonderful kind of high gain stuff. Normally this would be an internal trim pot that you would set to your liking and then just leave it, but having it on the outside is really quite cool, and you can get some great fun sounds from it, as you'll see. And then the switch, just as I said, changes some of the settings. So in the middle it's a really more modern kind of treble heavy fuzz, and then the top and bottom settings are a bit more traditional fuzz facey style fuzzes. But that's enough speaking, let's just hear what this thing sounds like, shall we? Okay, so I'm all set up. I've got a Fender style amp. I'm using this rather unique Maybury Guitars experimental Telecaster here that I'm borrowing at the moment. We are this for our clean. I'm going to start with everything at 12, switch in the middle. Okay, so you can hear spluttering, which means the bias control is too far to the left. So we'll push the bias up. Not a lot of fuzz yet, let's rectify that. That better? A bit more fuzz. Now this is in the middle setting, which is kind of the trebly setting. Now we are going to move to the top setting, again back to 12 o'clock with everything. Using the neck pickup for all this. Smooth the bias a bit and bring in some gain. There's a lot of fuzz on that one for you. Onto the bottom setting, back to 12 with everything. A bit more gain, well, just whacking it up to maximum gain just for fun. So the volume down a little bit. kind of like really fuzzy stuff. Now, where the pedal becomes very fun is with the bias control, more fun, is with the bias control. So staying on that setting, but rolling the bias to the left. So what the bias is doing is it's reducing the voltage to the pedal, which makes it a bit like when a battery runs out on a pedal. And you get this kind of coughing, spluttering, Jack White kind of sound. If I move to the middle position on the switch, now at the top. It's like it wants to give it a bit more, but it hasn't got the energy for it. I love that sound. I said it gives you that real kind of Jack White. That kind of staccato, it stops and you know it's stopped because there's nothing left. The other thing that this fuzz does really well is responds to the volume control. So if I give it a more normal setting, okay, we roll this right off. So it responds really nicely to the volume control, and this actually has a treble bleed in it, so you're not losing a lot of the treble, but if you've got a guitar which is running on a standard volume control, you start to get an even bassier sound out of it. Now my personal preference is I love to have it on the top switch setting, maximum gain, and with the bias control just rolled off a little bit. The reason I like it is you're almost fighting with the fuzz to get a bit more out of it. You've got to hit a bit harder. And you daren't leave the note too long because it'll just die. So it adds, it's almost like gaming your own, or gamifying, is my day job, the guitar by saying I've got to keep playing that little bit harder, otherwise I'm going to lose the signal. It makes playing fun, you know. Now the other cool thing with this, if you roll the gain all the way off and put the bias control somewhere sensible, nice bluesy tone. Which I wasn't expecting, because you kind of all kind of balls to the wall kind of fuzz, and then this really, really nice warm blues tone. And that's what I really like about this, because you've got everything from heavy kind of fizzy, fuzzy nonsense to Hendrixy fuzz face to everything in between, plus the breaking up Jack White kind of sound, and then this beautiful bluesy boost almost. So in one pedal you've got so many different voices and so many different options that you really can't ask for more, if I'm being perfectly honest. And if you do, you're just being greedy. Okay, so I'm sat here with a slightly bigger guitar now, because one of the things I wanted to test was how well the fuzz responded to a bass. So here's my clean sound. And here is the fuzz in the trebly middle position. A bit more fuzz in the top position. Bottom position. So, as you can see, it makes a lot of noise with the bass, and a lot of it sounds very good. So, a very versatile pedal indeed. So, if you're interested in one of these beautiful Bleeding Heart pedals, get in touch with Hubcap John. I will put his details in the description below if you go and find him. He's got loads of cool stuff on Instagram. If you're interested in this guitar, or guitars similar to this, check out Maybury Guitars. I'll put a link in bottom for you. As I said, both of these are UK handmade stuff. Hubcap John has loads of other effects as well. If I'm lucky, I might be getting my hands on one of his tobacco tin fuzz pedals, which are great fun. He messaged me last night about something to do with that. He's got octave pedals, fuzz pedals, all sorts, but he also makes some really cool hubcap guitars, kind of C6 Steve style, banjo-y type things. So check him out, some amazing stuff there. What do you think? Do you like this kind of fuzz? Do you like that kind of fighting for your tone kind of fuzz, or are you a bit more into your, I don't know, big muffs or Boss fuzz type pedals? Let me know in the comments below. Tell me more. Tell me what I should be trying next. I've tried a few fuzzes now. Yeah, just get in touch, have a chat. Until then though, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I will see you very, very soon. Cheers guys.